Hi everyone. Following weekend. Happy to say I finished the painting in the living room. I've done a couple of little touch-ups today just around the corners, but yeah, everything's pretty much done. I've taken off obviously all the tape around the window frames and the heater and everything else. So yeah, we're in the final stages now. I've just got to wait a day, maybe a day, for the touch-ups to dry before I peel the painter's tape off, because I don't want any bleed through or any more paint coming off the walls. So we'll give it a day. And yeah, what I've also done is I had this extra sofa bed, single sofa bed. And I've had it for 20 years, and I sort of didn't want to part with it, but I sort of had nowhere to put it. And my living room is a really weird shape, so it's hard to get any type of seating configuration in here, whether it's a two-seater and two single chairs, or two two-seater couches, or a two-seater and a three-seater, whatever the combination is. The living room is elongated, lots of windows, so you don't really have any wall space, all bar one wall. But then when you put a sofa up against that wall, it's not facing the TV. So it's a really difficult lounge room to configure, to make it be practical and make it work. But I've sort of come up with something today, which means that my single sofa bed that I wanted to keep, looks like I can keep it now. And the other sofa or couch that was in the kitchen, which was a matching couch to the one I had in the lounge room, which was a three-seater, and the one in the kitchen was a two-seater, is now in the living room. So I'll give you a look at what I've done. Not everyone's going to like it, but it's what I own, it's what I can afford to own, and it's, yeah, I think it looks alright. Couches are a little bit dusty at the moment, so they need to be wiped down with a really good leather conditioner. But when they are wiped down, they're going to be super shiny and they're going to look fantastic. So here we go. So we got the two-seater here, which came out of the kitchen. The three-seater that was already in here. I've pushed that up against the wall and moved my CD cabinet just back a little bit. I've just set the speakers in there for the moment. I know they look odd because they're a different colour, but I sort of like that because it breaks it up. I got very lucky with the DVD player and the VCR, which I want to hold on to because I got stuff on VCR that I can't get on DVD. But that was really nice. Both being silver, they sort of go with the chrome trim around the TV, around the base of it and around the frame of it. And then we've got the aluminium inlays on the cabinet as well. So it really sets that center section of the cabinet off really nice. The rest of the components are dark and they're in behind the glass, and when you get like the light coming through the window, the natural light coming through the window, you can actually see the components inside the cabinet, which looks fantastic. But I do like the fact that the speakers are a different colour. It just helps break it up a little bit, and you have to remember that floating floor there, that's coming out when the grey carpet goes in. So you know, there's a multitude of colours here at the moment, but eventually there won't be, and I think those speakers will just be enough to break the black up. It'll just give it that little bit of a difference, and they're good speakers. I'm not getting rid of them. So yeah, there's the three-seater. I've turned the coffee table around just to make it fit that area a little bit better. I've I said I was going to get rid of the aviary. Well, you know, at the moment I can't because the house is still in a transition period where I'm working on it. So these three characters are still living where they were. Started to mount the speakers back up on the wall again. I'm just repairing the mounting bracket on one of them. I had a slight crack in it, and I just want to make sure that that's glued back together so that it doesn't break and then the speaker plummets to the ground and rips the wiring out, and then yeah, so I'm just making sure that that's all cool. I said I was going to reduce the size of their playset by at least 2/3, which I have done. I've got rid of the big glass top now, got rid of a few of their toys that they don't use, but they've still got enough there to keep them entertained during the day. This glass top, I seem to have a lot of glass tops. This one is actually one of two that I had. These were actually out of a cabinet, as you can. I don't know if you can see that in the footage, but there's actually like the little recess on this side for a handle. So that's that fits on there nice. That's small enough. It's easy to keep clean. For now, I've got some lino down there, which I've sort of always had, but I'm going to get something that looks a little bit better than that. You know, this is really old school lino, probably from the 1980s. It's been in the foot of a wardrobe, in the theatre room for the last 20 odd years. So, but it'll do for now. It keeps the carpet clean, and yeah, I'll replace that. I'll get something that sort of fits in a little bit better with the colour scheme we've got in here. Move the lamp, put the lamp over here in the corner. Still got the other speaker to go up there. But that's about it. In the kitchen, we're going to hit a dark patch here for a second. Kitchen's an absolute mess at the moment because I've got things going on. But this was the single sofa bed that I didn't want to get rid of. It's showing its age. It doesn't have any tears in it. It's just faded, sun faded. So I'm going to get like a really nice throw rug or something. I've seen people get like a piece of material. I'm just using a bed sheet at the moment. And they sort of do this tie-off, cover over and tie-off thing to sort of revamp an old couch. And I'm thinking about doing that, but getting something really cool, like a really cool cover for it. I don't know, you know, I could find something with skulls on it or something like that, which isn't, you know, it's a cool boy thing, but it's not usually something that I would go out of my way to buy. I sort of like things to be a little bit more, little classier than that, you know. Skulls, yeah, when you're a teenager or your early 20s, but when you're in your 50s, yeah, I tend to back away from that stuff a little bit. So yeah, this will now be the sofa for here. The coffee table that I had over here, I've just moved that to a spare room for the moment because I've got the old entertainment unit in here, which I was going to modify this because all my records and things are in the bottom of this cabinet, and I need somewhere to store them. So I thought, I think I've explained it before, I was basically going to take the top off this, cut it down, drop the top down onto these this storage space down the bottom where these four doors are, and turn that into like a low height storage cupboard. But now that I've moved the other couch into the living room, I don't have room for this. So for the moment, this is going to sit here. I'm not going to do nothing with it. I have to get rid of it eventually, but I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do with it. It needs a good clean up, a lot of dust on it, and I'm obviously just using it to store stuff, bits of tape and whatever. But you know, we're getting there. We're slowly getting there. You know, this morning there was two couches in here. Now there's one couch in here. This morning the living room still looked like I was in the process of painting. Now it actually looks like a living room. You know, you can sit down and watch TV if it was all wired in. But yeah, I got to get around to doing that. So yeah, we're making headway. We're getting there. It's a slow process. It's hard when you're doing it by yourself. But yeah, I'm happy with the way all the paints come up. As I said in the last video, everything seems really super smooth. There's no roller marks in it. It went on very, very easy. You can see up there. This tape I put on, I actually peeled the other tape off. So this isn't the same tape you saw in the last video. This is actually now on the wall in spots, but still on the cornice in spots. You know, you don't know what you're going to find till you peel the tape off, and then, you know, if you need a little bit more on the wall, you retape the cornice and you paint the wall. If you need a little bit more on the cornice, you tape the wall and paint the cornice. So that's all we had on this side, just this little length here up to the heater. There's nothing beyond that needed to be touched up. And then on this side we had one here on the cornice, little one on the cornice that needed to be touched up, and that was just like a little dab with the brush. Here we needed some more grey to go up to the bottom of the cornice, and over here too we needed some more grey to go up to the cornice. So yeah, very happy with what's going on. And so tomorrow, yeah, I'll peel off all this tape, and I'll make a start on something else. Today I made a list out of all the things that I would need to do to restart on the bathroom. So you know, I can't just get stuck into the tiling straight away. There are some things I need to do first. I need to finish the plastering off, which that includes sanding the walls and internal and external corners. I've got two pieces of cornice that need to be installed, so I've got to obviously cut those and install those. I've got a length of cornice on what I call the main wall, where the shower and the hand basin is. That needs a little bit of attention. At this point in time I'm thinking I can save it, but then again, until I get started on it I won't know, so I may have to cut that out and put a new piece in. With the slab, the trenches that I cut, I've got to finish filling that in with concrete. I haven't done that yet, so that concrete's got to be put in, and it's got to dry obviously before any tiling can take place. The ceiling itself needs a little bit of a clean up. It is fairly clean, but I do have one repair where we took a downlight out, and the 3-in-1 heater, light and exhaust fan didn't quite cover that hole. That had to be put in a different place because obviously there was a new center to the room. So so I have repaired it. I've plugged that old downlight hole, and I have put plaster over the top of it. I just need to sand it, and then obviously paint the roof, touch that up. And there's a couple of little marks near it that I got when me and Paul were putting up the stud wall, and it was just tied in one spot, and we just hit it into place, and it's just left a bit of a black mark there. So we've got to clean that up. What else? Oh, and the window frame. The window frame it looks like it had a little bit of rot just in one corner. It's solid. It's a solid unit. I don't know why. They must have had a leak or something coming in there. But I'm going to get a little bit of builder's bog and just fill that in and square it out. So I've got to do all that stuff before I can, you know, do any tiling at all. And I actually wouldn't mind painting the sections of wall that I'm going to leave plasterboard. I wouldn't mind painting those, because I don't really want to go tiling everything and then have to put drop sheets down, or get lazy and don't put drop sheets down and then start painting and get splatter over everything. So then again, some people will say, well, no, you don't want to paint before you plaster because you might get tile cement. I think I said that right. You don't want to paint before you tile. I think I said paint before you plaster, but you don't want to paint before you tile because you might get tile cement over the walls. Well, I'll do everything I can to protect the walls if I paint them first. So, yeah. Had a little bit of trouble with this wall again. I had some like roller marks where I'd obviously gone over it, and then it had dried, and maybe I pulled too much paint off the roller, and you could actually see a streak down here, and there was another streak down here. So I re-rolled this last week, and I used my little mini roller here, which seems to have done an absolutely magnificent job on the living room walls. And I did notice today when the sun was coming through the kitchen that you couldn't see those big roller marks, which I was trying to cover up, but you could sort of see something from the small roller, but it wasn't as prominent as it was when the big roller left the marks there. So I'm still dabbling with this section of wall. It was a little bit like this section of wall. I had a lot of trouble with blending this corner below the light switch. Probably about 1 meter square. I don't know why I had issues with it. I left it for 6 months, maybe even 12 months. Come back to it, wiped it down, rolled it. Absolutely perfect. I don't know what it was. Maybe it was maybe there was contamination on the old paint that I didn't quite get out properly, and was still bleeding through the new paint. And when I went to put a second or third or fourth coat on it, it was still bleeding through. But after 12 months, it had obviously completely dried by then. And then when I rolled it, I got nothing. It just turned out so well. So I don't know, maybe I've got the same issue on this wall. So I'm not going to roll anymore here. I've got 3/4 of a can of this colour left. So in 12 months time, if I've got to revisit this room for any reason because I get cracking above the windows or the doorways like I always do, and I need to sort of repair them and paint them, I'll repaint this wall again and see how we go. Leave it here, guys, because now I'm just rambling on and I really don't have much more to tell you. Cheers.